Okay, you all know it's that time again. It's the Tony Talks Hour, and I'm going to be jumping off. This is episode 272.
And Jamal is here today. He's having a few technical difficulties, so he's in the background trying to fix that and does what he does. But good morning. Welcome to Altadena Talks podcast. And this, as you know, is the Tony Talks segment, which is generally on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm super excited today to have Brandon Lamar on with us. I've given him a new name. I've been calling him Brandon Dante, the Jamaican Lamar. I think he's the whole Caribbean because Brandon is doing stuff like unbelievable. I think he's got about 10 titles that he holds that you're worthy of holding. That's the thing about it. And when you were telling me I'm on this board and this board, I think it was like 6 different boards or something. I was like, what? And this is one man and still a newlywed because you just celebrated your 1-year anniversary and you're stretched very thin all over. But like I was just saying, but you show up. And when you show up at full capacity. You don't show up like I'm dead to the world tired because I just got off 10 meetings. You show up and you show up with data, numbers, and full advocacy. So super excited to have you on today, Brandon. You have the title in front of you today as president of Pasadena NAACP, which you are as well, and have been, is it a year and a half or 2 years?
No, it's been a year.
Oh, a year. Okay. So yeah, tell us, I know that was you had run for like city council, didn't make it on that ballot, and then ran for this seat that you have of the president of NAACP. And that was quite a battle that was fought, but the right person is now in that seat. Glad that you're there. So tell me, over the last year and 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever we're at now, everything that you have done, because when I say boots on the ground, I don't know if your boots ever leave the ground because of how engaged you are. You're part of the Eden Fire Collaboratory. You're doing all kind of stuff. So tell us a little bit about everything that you have going on right now, and then we'll get into more discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with just last year. Last year, after the fires hit, we started the Dena relief drive and just moving to help our community. I always say, when disasters hit, it is community first responders that responds to our community first, right? And we're grateful for police officers, fire department, public servants, all that kind of stuff. We're grateful, but in the real aftermath of disasters, it is community members who are knocking on their community doors, helping the elderly get out, helping the young people get out, feeding their community, making sure they have distributed item or essential items. It was the job center that was going into our community, cutting down trees so that emergency vehicles can go through. And so, it was really a beautiful thing to see community come together, and even those affected by the fires going out and helping their community and helping to make sure everybody was good at the end of the day, So after the Dena relief drive started, I think it was a week after, national NAACP came to Pasadena and announced me as the president of NAACP, and that's how that came. I ran for it in November. Some of the old regimes came up, and I don't really go into that, but they tried to say a whole bunch of stuff that that wasn't true, and so we still came up on top. And for me, I don't even see it as a victory, right? Because even from then, we haven't rested since day one of the fire, and so it's not a victory. It's not something that you just clap your hands for and say, hey, we won and this is what it is. We can do all this kind of stuff. We're literally balancing, trying to figure out where our NAACP was before, what information we need to know now, and where we actually taking it, right? Mm-hmm. And as you said before, even before the fires, I ran for city council, got on the ballot, and received 43% of the vote. But work never stops, right? Even if you don't win an election or anything like that, work doesn't stop. And if anything, my life has increased since then. My workload has increased since then. And I'm also grateful, right? I'm grateful because if I would have won, that seat,
That's what I was gonna
I
say.
would not have been doing all the stuff I'm able to do, right? Because you have
Exactly.
to stick to your district.
That's what I was just about to say. Like
Yeah,
a lot of times we think when something, and we know all things work together for the good, but we think, oh shoot, this didn't happen. I never saw you in that defeated posture. I even spoke words of encouragement to you at church right afterwards, right? And I was like, that wasn't for you or something like that. But literally, had you won that, you would have been, like you said, for that district in Pasadena. You would not have been available to do all the things that you are doing now. And
correct.
so I am also grateful. Like,
Yeah,
okay, that didn't happen at the time. That wasn't meant for that season of your life because God knew you had other things that you had to do. And so
yeah,
you're now available to be doing Project Passion, Pasadena NAACP, Dena Relief Drive, newly, I talked about it the other day, community pastor at Victory, because you've already been the young adult pastor, but you are so engaged and involved with the community that that's the perfect role. And Pastor Angel had been kind of doing that, and she's got a lot going on. But yeah, for this season, for this time, you were needed in this area. And so had you been only on city council for Pasadena, you just would not have been available. So yeah, I'm thankful.
yeah. You know, that's very true. You know, God is the only one who knows the plan that we have, that He has for us, and we
Yeah.
walk with it without knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
And we take the wins, we take the losses, and we keep moving. And so, you know, all this came together, and life started to happen. We started to serve our community. And you know, if I wasn't in this role of NAACP, you know, I've been blessed to be able to have bi-weekly meetings with the governor and his team, and with SBA and so many of our federal partners, bringing support into our community, or even advocating for support into our community. So it's been a blessing, right? There's a lot going on, but it's been a blessing to be able to support and help community where I can.
Yeah, exactly. And you are, and that's the biggest thing. You are absolutely out there doing everything and then some. And so thank you. I'm grateful that you are and that you're doing it. And I even mentioned last week when I was like, that's Brandon the Jamaican, right? But I was like, and he's a newlywed. And so he has to do all his stuff, and newly installed as the young adult pastor of Victory. The last, year and a half, whatever.
Year and a half. Yeah.
Year and a half, right. And then now community pastor. It is. So, bro, I don't know how you're doing it all, but you are. I'm thankful. And I'm thankful.
I think it's God at the end of the day, right? Yeah. I think, you know, when you operate in purpose, because people ask me all the time, how do you do it? And my petty answer to them is that if you do more, I can do less, right? That's my petty answer. But in all actuality, I'm able to do this, I believe, and this is my whole heart belief, is I'm able to do it because I'm in the lane which God has called me to be in. And I believe that if we stick to the lane that God has called us to be in, that He gives us strength to do whatever we're able, or whatever we need to do. And so I think that's the ultimate answer for me, is that He gives me the strength to do it, and we keep pushing.
Yeah, and you do it well. I will just reiterate that, which other people, Camille for real is on here, said Brandon is doing great things for the city, for the entire community, not just city of Pasadena, but Altadena as a whole, San Gabriel Valley, right? Because it's not just one piece. We're all intertwined, right? And you're out there everywhere. You even have meetings you go to in LA, you know, and like you said, meeting bi-weekly, I think you said with the governor's office or something like that. So we don't know what's next, God does, but I'm sure it'll be some other office at the state level or whatever, because also He has allowed you to sit in seats and at tables that before you might not have had as much access to, where now you do, right? I know you just went last month to the Hill. I believe you were in DC or something like that. And so your name is circulating well, and whatever other purpose God has for you, is He's opening them up. So I saw last night or early this morning, Dr. Will Sims, who's, you know, over Legacy Land Project, posted something, but it had Brandon Lamar. And I was like, oh, what's that going on? So you were having something at the Pasadena City Hall. Can you speak to that? Because I saw the sign or whatever, but Can you speak a little bit to what's the event is, when is it, the time, all of that, so people know what we need to do to not only participate and show up, but why we need to be there in droves, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so I think number one, it's the fact that so much has been happening in our community, but also around the country, right? Before ICE actually was in our community, I hosted something in, I think it was like May or June of last year at the steps of City Hall, where we did a demonstration before ICE even came to our community, saying that we didn't want ICE here and all this other kind of stuff. And then, honestly, Toni, I've been getting calls of, stay in your lane. That's not your fight. It's not our fight. I've gotten threats and a whole bunch of other stuff to our NAACP office. And for me, I think people are now starting to see that this is not a brown or black issue, right? This is a humanitarian issue, right? Not to even speak that,
right?
After Christmas, Keith Porter got murdered by an ununiformed ICE officer who wasn't working at the time. He was murdered in Northridge, right? And so, then that's a black man. And these are the issues that are happening within our community that we have to speak up about, right? Because it's not just about undocumented versus documented. This is human life. This is a federal government coming in, trying to take over communities, terrorizing our communities. And so what we're doing Friday is we're doing a demonstration to say, hey, we're standing against what's happening in our communities across the country. There's so many demonstrations that are happening nationally on Friday, and we're just joining in what's taking place. But then also we, as everybody has heard already, Trump did the declaration or state of emergency, that he is planning to come and take over the rebuild for Palisades and Eden Fire. But this is also telling him at the end of the day, we don't need you to come in and take over.
Right.
We just need the resources. Give us the money, and we know how to focus our own rebuild. And that's what we've been saying, even in FEMA, right? Families are supposed to be getting, I think it's like $46,000 from FEMA, and they haven't even gotten close to that at all. And so if they just release the money,
they've gotten what, $750?
Exactly. And that's only some people, right? Other people have been denied. But if they just release the money, we can handle the rebuild on our own. And so I think that's what we are pushing for on Friday, is bringing our communities together. Now, look, y'all, we understand that there are some conversations. There are some, I call them living room conversations. There are living room conversations that we need to have as the Black and brown community, because some of us don't get along, we don't agree, and all that other kind of stuff. We saw in the election when it was Trump and Kamala. We understand it. We understand it. We need to have those conversations. But right now, where we are presently, we have to come together in a moment of solidarity to make sure that our community is safe and making sure that we're speaking up for what ultimately is wrong.
So let me just say this. It's interesting that you would get threats and what I call stupidity, right? Because you want to help someone outside of African Americans. But I remember when I was little, and my dad's from New Orleans, so Grandpa, we were card-carrying members of the NAACP probably since I was 4 or 5 years old. My grandfather purchased those NAACP memberships for us as babies, he said at the national level or whatever, but down in New Orleans. And so we learned about it then. And if you look at what it stands for, it's the National Association for Advancement of Colored People. Now, back then, we were called colored, right? But then all of a sudden, fast forward 2020, 21, all that, when George Floyd was killed, and everybody's like, oh, BIPOC. No, don't call me BIPOC, which is Black, including people of color or whatever, right? But if everyone wants to be included now, that is what is considered brown, which is Latinos. That is Asians. That is
colored people.
It's everybody that has melanin in their skin, right?
Right.
And it's not void of that. And so if we are all considered colored people because we have some shading to us, then let's get together. And why would anybody threaten the NAACP other than ignorance? And they don't know what the organization stands for, when it was started. Because when I'm telling you, probably since the 70s. I was born in 65. And by the time I was 5, I know my grandfather was like, you all have these cards. So it's been around a long time. And they don't only advocate for African Americans. They do advocate for everybody of color. And we're out there with them and the ACLU and others that are trying to make a difference against a regime like what's in office now.
But I think also, you know, here's the truth. If you mix up every single color in the coloring book, what are you going to get? You're going to get black.
Black,
right?
Period. Mm-hmm.
Which also tells us, and this is just stupid stuff, right? Which also tells us all throughout history, we have seen that if black people are supported and helped, it helps everybody.
We rise, everybody rises.
Let me tell you, when the DEI and stuff came, it didn't help black people.
Right. And it wasn't ever meant for black people. It was for white women. It was never
meant for it. Exactly.
Right. It was created for white women.
Who built up on it, right? And so it has always been these movements. The civil rights movement didn't just help African Americans. It helped every single person within our community. And so that's what we have to come into grips with, is that the fight and the struggle for us is actually opening doors for other people. For
everybody.
But also at the end of the day, we really got to come together on a united front to really continue to stand up for what's happening across our country, but also in our local neighborhoods, right? Yeah. Because I say it all the time. I mean, look, I appreciate black people being on city council. I appreciate people of color being on city council and all that kind of stuff. But when there's African Americans on our city council, but our city continues to decrease the African American lives that are sitting here in our community, how did we go from 15% of African Americans 10 years ago to now we're at 6%? Right. And that's the city of Pasadena, right? And then also, how are we focusing efforts to make sure that all black people that are displaced out of the Eden Fire are able to move back? What are those efforts, right?
Right.
And so for me, it's not about people who are sitting at the table. It's about what you're advocating for. It's about what you're pushing for, right? We also have a city council in Pasadena where the only people of color voted against safe parking for our homeless individuals, when 33% of the homeless population are black in Pasadena, right? And so it's not about the people. It's about what you're advocating for.
Right.
Exactly.
What's the alternative? If you're voting against that, what are you bringing to the table to say this is the plan instead? And if you don't have that, who are you really there for? Right. Absolutely. Is it for you, for your name, for you to have another office, or what? Because what are you doing for the people? And I don't care who you are. If you're elected by the people, you need to make sure you always represent the people straight up, or get out. It's not about how much you make. It's not about making your name greater or any of that. If it's not about the people, get out. And you know, I've had people that I've gotten into over the past year when it comes to Altadena, and I'm like, you don't like it, leave. You can't tell me to leave. And I'm like, no. Think about it. All you're doing is complaining. You're not bringing solutions or something that we can talk about solutions. You're talking about, oh, we need to become part of City Pasadena or have our own city because no. That does not work. And I've explained to people, this is what it takes to become a city. And your exploratory committee, your charter, and then for us to break off from the county of LA is billions of dollars that they're not going to give up. And it's been tried. What's going to happen is the people who want this city to be a part of Pasadena, or even to make Altadena its own city, be prepared for more taxes. That's what I tell them.
For more property taxes. That's the only.
I said it's going to be double taxed. Absolutely. I said we already have county tax, and I said you have to have a fire department. No, we have the county. I said because we are county. If you become a city, you do one of two things. You have your own, and you have to find the money for the salaries, or you contract with the county, which we don't have to do now because we're county. I said, and then there's extra taxes. Same with the police department or the sheriffs. And because everybody wants to blame them for not being there during the fire or giving warnings or whatever. We can place the blame game all day. We know there are definite places that there were gaps or complete failures. But how do we now look at it and go, this is what we need to do in the future so this does not happen? Instead of we only want to blame, but what are we doing to change policy or change it for the future, right? It happened. We can't stay stuck in it complaining. We have to move forward. And, people get mad at me all the time online because I tell them that. I'm like, you can stay in your PTSD and just be stuck forever. Trust me, as a veteran, it happened to me and I was stuck for 33 doggone years, right? Now, when I have something happen, it's like, okay, it's the event. It happened. I'm not living in it every single day. And I have to make a choice every day to move forward. And that's what I think that right now in Altadena, a lot of people are having difficulty with. And so there is tons of opportunities for free counseling, or if you have medical insurance, go through that. But definitely go get the help that is needed because everybody needs it, right? That's for the mental part. But on top of that, what you're advocating for, the funds, the money, the resources, we don't need a president or a regime to come in here and say, I'm going to take over and no, we don't need that. People that want to come back that have gaps, there's funding that needs to happen. Release the funds. Instead of, I hate California because they don't like me and I'm going to be a toddler and I'm going to withhold all the funds, right? Yeah. We don't need that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the biggest things, right? It's a lot happening in our community. And I think great grief and mental health, everybody handles it differently. And I've understood it, right?
Right.
We have people helping us and supporting us. I mean, in the couple of weeks after the fire, I'm sitting in front of 600 people getting ready to do a speech about what we've been working on in the fire. And I started crying in front of all 600 people because I was moving as a robot, right? I had to get help for myself. And so, that's the thing for everybody is, everybody has to seek help. They have to know that help is there because we're going to be dealing with these traumatic experiences for years to come, right? I was on a press conference, online press conference before this, and there was people from different disasters across the United States that was literally speaking. And I moderated the conversation, and we getting choked up on those calls because we're all experiencing something that is the same way, right? And so I think at the end of the day, everybody has to get the help that they need. For me, I have to be honest, I have done pretty good with putting a blind or deaf ear to the negative talk, because for me, the people who are talking negative are not the people who are working.
Correct.
And I've seen that and I understand that. And also the people who are talking typically don't have fruit behind what they're saying, right? And so for me, I can't put my time and energy on focusing and telling you that you're wrong and there's nothing coming from that and all that kind of stuff. Only thing I can do is just let my fruit speak, and whoever wants to be a part of that is a part of it. And I think that's what we're focusing on, right? Because we have a lot of people that are still homeless. We have a lot of people. I literally got a call this morning of a man sleeping in his car at the Rose Bowl that was affected by the fire, and we're going to help him today, right? Okay. But there's so many things that are happening within our community, and we can't get stuck on people saying how we should handle it. And you should have did this, and you could have did that. Like, let's do something, right? Forget all that you could have or you should have. Let's actually do something and make it worth our while in our community. Because the truth of the matter is, y'all, every single disaster has shown that African Americans in particularly does not come back the same way. And so we have to focus our efforts in working together, forget who did what, how they did it, and yo drama and your mess before. We got to make sure our people come back into their community so that they can be home and they can be whole.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest things I keep saying, like, we got to bring them back. And when it comes to the mental health thing, I talk about, PTSD that I've dealt with for years. I forgot for a moment yesterday, mind you, I had a headache throughout the day. I kept going, God, I have a headache. I need to eat. And it wasn't about eating. But yesterday was the 40-year anniversary of the Space Shuttle Challenger blowing up. Here it is 40 years later. I was stationed up at Edwards. It affected us tremendously. And for years, I've had migraines right around the 28th of January. I know the different dates that trauma happened. And I didn't even think about it because I was so busy with stuff until the evening. And I went, oh my God, this is why I've had a headache all day. Today was the 28th. So that's 40 years ago, right? Because our body holds trauma. And even though we do what we need to work through it, there are times where doesn't matter. Your body is going to remind you. And for me, I always get migraines or whatever. So yesterday was a headache day for me. And then it was like, oh, I did eat. And then in the evening, I was like, oh, it's the 28th of January. Literally, like we were on duty and being stationed at Edwards, which is where and I was security forces, right? Law enforcement. But where the shuttle landed, it would take off at Cape Canaveral and we instantly went into lockdown mode on our base. And we all were at the gates and it would be several of us because people wanted to always come see it land there. And so we had to really secure the base. And so we would go into these 12-hour shifts and have everything at our guard shacks, right? Like they'd bring us stuff. So we'd have a cot, we'd have our TVs and all that. And we always watched it. And so that morning when we watched that shuttle take off, because we had been in all the shuttles, we had met all the astronauts, all the people. We didn't meet the teacher because this was the first time for her. But, and we watched it. And when it happened, we were frozen. Like, vehicles trying to come on the base, we could not even let them on because we were all frozen. And I remember breaking down in tears and all this kind of stuff. And so 40 years ago, yesterday, right, was the anniversary. I still get affected by it. So yes, my thing is, please don't get stuck. And I say that to people all the time because I was stuck, like I said, 33 years before I even went to therapy, right? And yes, my body holds trauma and I still have, triggers and things like that. This fire will never leave people in the San Gabriel Valley, in Altadena, in Pasadena, in Sierra Madre, those that were affected and lost everything, or lives were lost or whatever, or just family or whatever. It will never leave. So we have to encourage people consistently, please get the help that you need, because if you don't, you will be stuck. You will let those triggers ruin your life. And I attest to that because I know what it did for me for 33 plus years before, never talking about stuff and all of that. And so get the help. We always, when Jamal does the announcements, we talk about, the therapy that's happening, the somatic therapy and different stuff that people have. And we try to do announcements. But find for yourself the resources. And that's why we are still here a year later, to be a resource, right? Yeah. So that we can do everything. Yes, you're right. My son attends Krista McAuliffe Junior High. Oh, wow. That's good. Yes, that was the teacher. And so these are the things that our community has to have, is the positivity, the advocacy like you're doing, and staying positive, and not people that are doing nothing but complaining. And people are going to be who they are, right? So like you say, we can't focus on those that are going to complain or whatever. But if you can, get involved, get engaged, bring the positivity, bring resources or information that you know. Brandon, I got to ask you about your camera, because I see it zooming in, and when you move, it moves with you. So dope. But I like it. I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
I had to get used to it. It's actually the MacBook Pro, and it's the new one. So it literally moves back and forth. And so if I lean up, it moves with me and stuff. And so I just started getting used to it myself, because I used to get dizzy watching it.
Okay, because it makes sure you're probably in focus or whatever, and not blurry. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, so that's in it. Nice. Yeah. I see what it's doing. And I wanted to ask him 2 minutes ago, but now it's doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, let me ask him. But it's just so much that's going on, right? Now, so the Apollo is not the one that blew up. That was the 40-year anniversary for yesterday. That was the Challenger. But I don't know, Krista McAuliffe, we'll talk about that. But anyway, so the event at the Pasadena City Hall to bring the community together to talk and all of that is Friday at 6:30 p.m. Is that
Friday
correct?
At 6:30 in the steps of Pasadena City Hall.
Okay. And what can people expect? Not just obviously to show up and to say we are against ICE coming in, but who will be there speaking? What information will be given out so that people know how to continue to engage, not only with you, but for the community?
Yeah, so there's definitely speakers coming. A lot of voices like Pastor Mark Chase, who's been one of the leading voices. He's a pastor at All Saints. The Job Center is coming out. Jose Madera, who's the director of the Job Center, but also arrested by Pasadena Police Department for following ICE agents in our community. He's going to be coming to speak, and other people are going to be speaking within our community as well. Some Altadena residents are going to be speaking as well about Trump not coming into here trying to take over our community, but actually giving us the resources that we need. And so honestly, these are demonstrations that we show that people need to come together. Our community is coming together for one cause, to show that, hey, this is something that's important for us. At the end of the day, we all need to feel safe in our community. We all need to feel like we belong in our community. And so this is that day that we come together and build on each other and share on each other and love on each other. And I think one of the things that I really noticed about our community is number one, it matters when we come together. Absolutely. Especially after the fire. After the fire, people can't have their backyard boogies no more, no barbecues, Thanksgiving dinners and stuff like that. And so when we come together, it's really a homey feel to make sure that we are able to speak truth to the matter of what's happening, but we're also able to come together and love on each other.
Yeah, that's so important.
And I think if I could say one last thing,
absolutely.
I am when it comes to this is a demonstration, but it is a peaceful demonstration. And so I make that very known. If you come in, like, what we don't do is we don't destruct our own communities. We don't burn down our own communities. We don't mess up our own community. And so this is a peaceful demonstration to show that we are in unity, that we're building solidarity within our community, and we're mobilizing, right? We're mobilizing our community to do some amazing stuff, because at the end of the day, not only just what's happening around the country, but we're going to need everyone's help in order to rebuild our community in Altadena.
Absolutely.
And so that's the sign that we're showing.
So with that, obviously, thank you, Jamal, for bringing that up. But with that, Brandon, obviously, to be able to have a demonstration down there at City Hall, you had to probably get the permit, the proper approvals. No?
This is a protest.
Okay. So do PPD or whatever, do they know?
They can show up too.
And the reason I say that is because obviously word is going to get out, right? Grassroots, people are going to show up. ICE may very well try to show up.
They're welcome to come too.
Okay. And so my thing is, how will that be countered or whatever? And again, this is a peaceful protest. Whoever shows up, shows up. There will be speakers, and the city will deal with it how they choose to. Hopefully they come peacefully as well. Yeah,
I would say that, every time we've done a demonstration or protest, it has never ended in violence. It has never ended in disruption or anything like that. I think PPD understands the level of what's happening. There are law enforcement across the country who are speaking against what ICE is doing in our community.
That's right.
The chief of Minneapolis Police Department spoke up about it today and yesterday, that he wants ICE out of their community. And so I think this is something that everybody is standing in agreement about this. But all is welcome, because the saying that the Job Center has is only the community can save the community. And so this is what we are saying into our community. We're inviting all community leaders. We're inviting the city council. We're inviting the mayor. Whoever wants to show up to be a part of this can show up and show their support and solidarity for what's happening in our community.
Good. That I only ask that because I know we'll be asked later, or there will be some discussion, right? Because people may be fearful, because if it's a demonstration, ICE may show up, or the police may try to do whatever. So that's why I asked, because we are live, we are public, and people may watch this later and feel like, oh, wow, or, whatever. So I'm super glad. I know that we've got to be somewhere from 4 to 5. I have to be in Inglewood at 7, but I'm going to try to stop by your event at 6:30 and get on the road, and I'll be a little bit later, whatever, but for a screening for something, because it's so important, right? That we all show up and participate and support one another. Super important. All right. So I'm going to kind of pivot a little bit because I want to make good use of our time this morning, but tell me about all the stuff, updates on the Dena Relief Drive, everything that you have done through either Harambe or Project Passion. I know you guys just did this amazing event for Christmas that the young people do every year, the play. You have hands in everything. We've kind of pivoting away from NAACP and that event, because I did want to speak about that. But tell me a little bit more about some things that you're doing with or have done over the past year and are doing now with Project Passion and Harambe.
Yeah. So first, let me distinct the three, because I think A lot of people say, hey, we're doing all this kind of stuff.
All the same,
And we are, right? So in my NAACP role, we are more focused on access. We're more focused on policy. We're more focused on advocacy. That's the NAACP role that I'm playing in all this. Project Passion is more focused on recovery and relief efforts within our community.
And tell me, you are the founder of Project Passion, correct?
Yeah, I founded Project Passion.
And tell me more about what it is, what the mission or whatever, and then how you guys got into obviously the relief space because the fire, but
yeah,
kind of link all that for me.
Good question. So yeah, I actually founded Project Passion as a DBA in 2018 because we were doing a lot of community support stuff. So for the last 11 years, we do backpack giveaways with neighborhood servants. We do Christmas giveaways with neighborhood servants. I host the back to school first day of school at John Muir High School.
Yep.
I do a Young Kings retreat. I wrote a book called The Kings in Me, a children's book called The Kings in Me, which is back there somewhere.
Yep.
And then my Queen in Me is somewhere on the other side.
Well, both of them.
But then from there, I started the Young Kings retreat, where we take 50 to 75 young men from our community, and we give them mentors. We have a full day of support for them. So that's how it started. And then when the fires hit, I decided to change and make Project Passion into a nonprofit. We were doing so much support in our community, and so many things was happening. And we saw that the Dena Relief Drive was successful because we already had built the trust within our community, right? This was before I was president of the NAACP. This was before I was executive director of Harambe, right? Yep. And so we've been working since day one on the ground with Project Passion, just to make sure our families are heard, they're seen, and they have the resources. The mission statement of Project Passion in the simplest form is to bring communities together to create solutions to our most complex needs in society. And so whether it be this or even other issues that are happening, this is what we're doing. So through Project Passion in 2025, we have given out over $400,000 worth of cash assistance. So whether that means we are giving direct money to our rent relief program, which we're doing for tenants, we've given gift cards out, we've given hotel stays and Airbnbs extensions for families. We've given direct cash to families who needed it and just had to get medication or other stuff there. So we've done that. We have a delivery service that we've been doing since March 16th of last year. And since then, we have done over 400 deliveries for families impacted by the fire. So we have a 14-foot box truck and a pickup truck. And anything that y'all have that you need picked up and delivered to you. Now, look, don't be sending us all the way to Timbuktu to pick up your stuff. But if it is in a reasonable range, we will definitely pick it up for you for free. All of our services are free. 2
deliveries, they got to call Lugs or something.
Exactly. So, we've done over 400 deliveries for families affected by the fire, moving them into their new homes, into their temporary homes, and moving stuff around for them. So
that's awesome.
We've been doing that. We also started what we call the Freedom Store. And our Freedom Store was the first of its kind. We created a store at Harambe. It's not Harambe, it's actually ran by Project Passion, but it's at Harambe, where we created a store for fire victims. We were getting a lot of complaints of families standing in line and being in line with people that actually wasn't affected by the fires, and our elderly standing in line, and young people in the heat and all this other kind of stuff. And so we created the Freedom Store. And the Freedom Store is literally creating space where families on Mondays and Tuesdays can go to our website and pick a time that they can come for them, and they don't have to wait in line. They just come at their appointment time and they go shopping, and it's free.
Nice.
And so
What's
we've
in
done
the
that.
store?
It's everything from essential items to brand new clothes. We got Nike suits, Adidas suits, shoes.
Nice.
There's air purifiers, there's toiletries, there's baby items, car seats, strollers, anything you could think of is probably in that store at this point.
And how would someone go about learning about the Freedom Store or being able to do that? Would it be on the Harambe website or the Project Passion site?
No, it's not a Harambe program. So you would go to projectpassioninc.com.
Okay.
And you can go to the Dena Relief Drive, and under the Dena Relief Drive tab, you will see a portion where it says Freedom Store, and then you'll also see a portion where it says Delivery Services. So any of those services that you might need, you can do that. You can click those things.
I'm gonna just put it in our main chat to everybody that's out there because I went to it, and yep, that's where. But up top, if you click under Dena Relief Drive, the second one over, Jamal or Brian, whoever's doing that, there it is. So that's the link that I just put in there to that. And when it goes down to ongoing services, the Freedom Shop by appointment only is the bubble on the left, and in the middle is the Dena Relief. So that's what Brandon is talking about. We want to make sure, Brandon, that as you're speaking about it, we give these resources to people so that they're good and aware. Okay, that's perfect.
I love it.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the services that we are doing. We've also created a partnership with six nonprofit legal teams who have funding to support families in the Eden fire on legal support. This, and let me be very specific, this has nothing to do with the lawsuit. They're not pertaining to the lawsuit. They don't want to think about the lawsuit. They don't want to talk about the lawsuit. But also, when it comes to your lawsuit, your lawyers who are focused on your lawsuit is not going to talk to you about insurance. They're not going to talk to you about the rebuilding of your home, any of that stuff. So these people, these laws, which if you click on the resource tab next to the delivery services, there's a list of resources there. But we also have a partnership with organizations like Bethesdic Law and Legal Counsel and all these other nonprofit legal services. And they're actually helping families who have insurance issues, who have trust issues with their trust.
So hold on one second. So under community resources, that one that says community care?
Yep, it should be all under there.
It's a bad link right now.
Uh-oh,
so,
we'll fix that. We'll fix it today.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But yeah, it says page can't be found. Somebody's probably has it down working on it. So it'll be fixed. That's where they would go.
So when we go there, you will definitely, trust me, before we get done, you'll see it. But in that moment, what these organizations are doing is, like, if you're dealing with bad contractors, we have a few people that we've connected them with who have gotten their money back from bad contractors. And so if you have that is what it's looking for. So we also have that partnership. And then also I'm a part of the leadership council for the EFC, which is the Eden Fire Collaboratory or Collaborative, where we're trying to bring one-stop shop to services in our community where families can find the support that they need. Ultimately, we're just trying to be in every space, because I'm a person that believes that if you're not at the table, then you're definitely a menu on the table. And so we have to be there, be present to make sure that we are actually a part of the conversations that is resolving around our community, especially, y'all, if the Black community had the highest rate of people who are displaced, we must be at every single table. And it's a given that we have to be there.
Now, do you need, and I'm not talking about specifically for the Dena Relief Drive, but to help, whether it's administratively or whatever, do you need any volunteers for Project Passion or NAACP? And if so, how do you want people to reach out and say, I want to help volunteer, or these are some skills that I might have, right? And you can say, oh, we actually absolutely need that.
Yeah, so we always are looking for volunteers to help out at our store. We're also always looking for volunteers to help families that need help navigating. And then we're also looking all the time for volunteers that help with our events. So Toni mentioned our Winter Wonderland. We literally service over 2,000 families. I think Brian showed up that day as well. But, it took volunteers for us to be able to do that. With our 1-year celebration, we gave out so much support there, where we served 800 families on the 1-year anniversary. And that needed volunteers. So everything we do is contained with volunteers. We need volunteer support. And I say that because there's a lot of conversations about what organizations are doing with the funding that they received. And, we know what to do, and we know what's in our guidelines. Let me say that. But also the other piece of it is is that, you know, there's not a lot of support for paid help. And I'm just going to be honest with you. So we depend on volunteers, especially because we need funding to go back into our communities to help our families. And so it is the volunteers that we need. I will also say is right now we're working on an essential campaign. And what this is literally saying is that, hey, y'all, our families have been showing up more now than they have ever done for our store and for resources and for essentials, right? I guess before it was a pride issue, but now they showing up and they showing up in droves. We need it. But even though they're showing up, donations have dwindled, right? Essential item donations have dwindled. And so if you are a person and you can donate tissue, toilet paper, whatever you could think of that's essential, body wash, body lotion, anything, you can always drop it off at Harambe, or you can send us a message online, and we'll make sure that we'll get those to the families. But donations have definitely dwindled across the board, but the need has increased tremendously.
What are you most in need of? The
everything.
Things you just said to everything. Is there a list on your website that shows?
So it's
like
not on the website.
Uh-huh.
It's not on the website, but I can definitely send it to you. But everything that is essential, from tissue, toilet paper, paper towels, body wash, toothbrush, toothpaste, cleaning supplies, things of that nature are things that we give out every single day. And so those are the things that are needed the most. And once again, if we knew what we knew now, we would have been trying to find places to take all these trucks that was coming in January and February. But we're not getting that same support anymore. And so
tell me this.
Are definitely still needed.
You said, because I'm going to go today, this afternoon, and you'll see me. I will be over there. I'm going to go to Costco around the corner, and I'm going to get some of those essentials. So yeah, shoot me something. I'll go get a bunch of, Costco, you can break stuff down, but it's big. I'll get a few boxes of, how they have the tissue, Kleenexes, toilet paper, things like that. Because even if I were to go spend $100, that's going to be some stuff that you all need, right? A couple $100 at Costco, I'm going to bring you some stuff. So I'll fill up the back of my vehicle and bring that stuff out. But where will people drop it off? Essentials, because I'm putting in our chat, essential donations needed. Please drop off at.
You can drop off at Harambe, which is 1609 Navarro Avenue, Pasadena, California, 91103. And you can drop it off anytime between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Okay, I'm putting that 8 a.m.
Monday through Friday.
p.m. Monday through Friday. Okay, so this is what I have. Essential donations needed. Please drop off at Harambe, 1609 Navarro Avenue, Pasadena, California, 91103 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Yep.
All right, I just put it in the chat so people will see that. And if they watch this later, they can also see it if they go all the way through, because it's very important that we let the community know what is needed. I have a call later today with Juicy Little, with Crystal, and we were supposed to talk yesterday, and I'm going to let her know too. So if she has overflow that can be taken to you guys, or you can go in your truck and pick some up. And then what's his name? Jose, the one that's on Glen Rose and Barry. I might swing by there too and say to him, hey, if you're still receiving a lot and you have overflow, it's needed down here, because people are going to go to all locations. But if there's overflow and they go to those two, and then there's some and they can come to you based on appointments, it's good to just let people know and get it out there. And I can spare $100 or $200 and bring some stuff over this afternoon. I will be there.
Yeah, and we talk to Crystal weekly. Crystal is one of my mentees, and so we do share resources. We share resources with the collaboratory, since I'm one of the people over that space as well.
Right.
But across the board, y'all, we are seeing
a drop in donations.
It's dwindling. It's a drought right now.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. And it's very important. And, this is tax season, and a lot of people will get refunds or whatever. Some, I know they may be slowed or delayed or whatever with what's going on with current state of our country. But if anybody can spare $25 or $50 to go and pick something up and drop it off, you'll bless somebody that's in need, right? If you have a little extra to give, it's needed. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll definitely swing by. I'm usually finished working at about 1. I don't have anything on my calendar. Oh wait, I think is today Thursday? There is a
Hmm.
meeting this afternoon. I think at 11:30 we have a meeting. But anyway, I will make sure that this afternoon I go to Costco, fill up the back, and that I get over there. Oh, I have a 1 o'clock meeting, so it'll be like probably around 3 that I'm over there, that I come and drop off some stuff because it is needed. And if I have a little bit extra that I could give, I'm not worried about me getting it back because God always gives me when I give. So I will be there this afternoon. I'm glad that you came on and definitely spoke about that and that there is a need. Okay, so you combine kind of dinner relief, Eden Fire Collaboratory, neighborhood. I call them servants because, I took French when I was in high school and it would be pronounced servants. And I told Michelle that one day. She said, "Oh, Toni, I like that. I know it's neighborhood servants, but I always say servants." Anyway,
Yeah.
And how engaged you are, which is amazing. And then you talked about Pasadena NAACP as separate. Did we leave anything off? We did in a
So
way Harambe,
yeah,
because
Harambe.
you're going to drop things there, but that's because that's where you're sitting, because you were also just named executive director of Harambe in
Yeah.
the last, what was it, 6 months ago?
July.
July.
Yeah.
Okay. Almost a year. Yeah. So let's pivot to that one.
So Harambe is a youth and family service center. So we help young people in enrichment programs. So if you have any young people who need help with homework support or they are below on their grades, we have enrichment programs that is strictly supported for them. So you can come by Harambe and sign your young people up for those services. We also have production classes. We have art classes. We have homework classes. We have some other stuff that's going on right now that I can't think about.
You
But
have
also,
production classes?
yeah, we have production classes. So
Oh,
Manny Shorter,
Brian would probably love to volunteer in that space, only
yeah,
because he likes mentoring youth in things like production or like what we do here, or which is also part of our mission on
yeah,
our website, that he really wants to engage with youth in that. So I know you're hearing Brian, and I'm not volunteering you, but that's something that is very important to him, and he has a passion
yeah,
about. So I didn't know that you
absolutely.
all have that.
Yeah, we do some production stuff, visual arts. And then also, I think one thing that is important right now is if you want to bring that flyer up again, we have a youth fellowship program, a youth rebuild fellowship program. Our young people was really complaining about everybody is worried about our mental health, but nobody is actually concerned about, we lost our home too, we lost our family too. And so right there, where you said the youth relief fellowship program, which is
The black, yeah.
Yep. And so we're doing a youth relief fellowship program right now. These are for high school students, which are juniors or seniors, or community college students,
Oh,
to come
nice.
together to help to bring a focus on what they want to see their community look like as
That's
we
right.
are rebuilding. We are bringing them to the table. We are bringing stakeholders to them so that they can literally be a part of this program. So if they are a part of the program for 6 months, we have a $1,500 stipend for them. If they take on the 2 year, if they take on the full year, which is about 9 to 10 months, they would get a bigger stipend towards their support. But we really want to bring in this youth perspective. They're going to they're doing youth town halls. They're bringing a youth program into their community. And so if you have any young people that are in high school, 11th and 12th grade, or community college students, please have them reach out to Harambe. It's harambeministries.org, and they can sign up for this program. We are trying to get as many of our young people to be a part of this.
It's so important because, Brandon, I'm 60, right? Are you 40-ish?
No. I'm
That's what I thought.
33.
You're in your 30s. Yeah, I was like,
33.
because people are like, how does Brandon? I said, I think in his young 30s. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so 33, but still, even under you, right? Those that are 18 or under, or 18 to 20 something or whatever. At the end of the day, I don't know hopefully I'll be here in 30 years, but whatever, right? I'm eventually going to be gone, right? Us that are in Altadena, Pasadena, or whatever will be gone in the future. And it's going to be turned over to those that come behind us, that we are mentoring, that we are making sure they take good care of things and know how to, have a home and this and that. And so they have to be involved in what they want it to look like, because right
This
now
is their communities.
this is their community, and it will be long after we're gone. So we have to engage and involve them and say, look, what do you all want? What do you all want to see? It can't just be us, whether you're in your 30s, 50s, 60s, 80s, whatever, saying, no, it has to be this. No, we have to listen to the future of the future stewards of our community. And like you said, bring them to the table and really listen to them, not just say, oh, well, whatever. I am going to post the link to this form. It doesn't technically show up as the full link, but it is the Fellowship Relief Program assessment. I just posted it. It's a long form. Don't worry about it. But if people want to just, see and from their own type it, or they can go directly to that harambeministries.org/programs. And they can scroll down and they can see all the programs that are going on, including the McKinley After School, the Relief Fellowship Program with the stipend, the After the Bell program, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2:30 to 6 p.m. And then B program tutoring you have on there. I won't say the Bethlehem because that was the play that just happened over at John Muir in December. Even though it's still on the site, it's good for people to see. But yeah, if you are wanting to get involved, or your young people, you want to get your young people involved, definitely go to the Harambe ministries.org/programs, see what they've got going on, sign your young people up, get involved in it. And let me tell you, when you go to that homepage, it has a whole lot of young folks that I know, because a lot of victory goes there. But these young people are amazing, and they absolutely are our future and are on fire to do amazing things for the community. So I'm glad that you're now over there as the executive director. And it seems like everything that you have a title or that you're involved in, even if you don't have a title, is really intertwined, just like the community is. And that's what's so important, that it's somebody, like I said, that knows the community, that grew up here, that is boots on the ground, and it's going to advocate for this community and for everyone, but especially those that are most affected in a disproportionate way, whether they're Black, brown, whatever, Filipino, Asian, whatever it is. You don't discriminate. You advocate for everyone. They could be white. You're going to advocate for them. We want all of the people that lost everything or partial or whatever to come back to Altadena, to Pasadena, Sierra Madre, whatever. We want everybody that wants to be here to come back, and you are out there doing it.
I appreciate that. The last thing I'll say is this: we're doing our official premiere for a documentary that I worked on. It's called Beneath the Ashes. And so that premiere is actually this Sunday, which is produced by me and directed by my homeboy Harag. And it's Sunday, February 1st at the AGBU Culture Center, which is literally right across the street from Victory Park on East Pasadena. Doors opens at 4:30. And the show begins at 5:00, and everybody that's on our panel, all the survivors, in the documentary, all the survivors will be on the panel right after. So we hope you guys can join us. You can go to beneaththeashes.com and register. It is totally free to come in and be with us, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. We have been putting that up every day, and I'm so glad that you circled back as we end our hour together to talk about that, because I didn't want to even miss it. So I'm glad you're actually here. There's amazing things that are continuing to happen. And what I see, as not only from you, but us and everybody, there's tons of organizations that have arisen since the fire, right? But I love the real ones, the grassroots ones, the ones that are from our community, that are staying and that are keeping Altadena, Pasadena, everybody in the forefront, because local and federal media is gone, right? The big media. And it takes us to keep us in the forefront and to say, this is what this organization is still doing. This is what these are doing. And so super happy that you came on today. Thank you for this hour, because you have so many. I know, right, Camille? I do too. I've got all the Harambe, the everything, all the tabs open. But it's that good of information that people should know. Go to Beneath the Ashes. Go get your tickets. I signed up. It's an Eventbrite. I signed up. I'll be there Sunday. Super excited about that. and to see, and just to continue to amplify our community. Thank you for everything, Brandon, that you are doing in the community and that you will continue to do, because you are walking fully in your purpose. And I'm excited. We'll bring you back at some other time. Hopefully it won't be another year, but when you have some real want to bring on. But it's all good. You've been super crazy busy. So I'm glad that you engaged last week. And I was like, you got to come on next week, because you and Craig did it. And so I'm super thankful to both of you and appreciate you. I know you got other things on your calendar today, so we're going to let you go and we'll get to those announcements. But thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Good to see y'all. Appreciate it.
All right. See you Friday. Bye-bye. So I can also do announcements today. It looks like Jamal is still having some technical difficulties with his microphone. And if that is the case, I will read them. And if he is able to pop in later and continue them, then
Can you
that's
hear me
fine.
now?
Oh, yes. Perfect. So
Yeah,
here.
it's the same thing happened to me when I was recording the things. I didn't add myself to the stage.
Okay. No problem. So go right ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to start with the fact that the SBA has returned locally. They're going to be at the Eat and Fire Collaboratory, 540 West Woodbury Road, Altadena, Monday through Friday from 9 to 6. And they are also in Palisades at Ronald Reagan Palisades, Post 283, 15247 La Cruz Drive, and Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. And a reminder, Saturday the 31st is the last day that the Altadena Main Library will be open, beginning the 1st of February. And for another 14 to 18 months, they will be closed for renovation. There are two branches that have extended hours during the renovation. The first is Bob Lucas Memorial Library, located at 2659 Lincoln Avenue. They're open daily, but in particular Monday through Thursday from 10 to 8. Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5, and then Sundays from 1 to 5. And Altadena Library at Loma Alta Park, located at 3330 North Lincoln Avenue. They're open Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This location is not open on Sundays. Then we have the Dena Food Distribution. It's a community food distribution event providing fresh, locally sourced produce from their farms. 100 pre-packed food boxes are available to support the families. It is from 2 to 5 today, even though it says January 28th, which was yesterday. It is Thursday. It should be the 29th. Pasadena Christian Center at 2588 East Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. And then Dena Heals continues to have their events. This one is the Men's Healing Circle with Yancey Cummins and Mike De La Rocha. This is today from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Paseo Outdoor Mall, 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 151 in Pasadena. To RSVP, to RSVP, go to bit.ly/D as in Dena, H as in Heels, --sacred -lessons. And then Janelle Ketcher is running a workshop for participants, or so participants will learn about the therapeutic qualities of letter writing and how it can be a powerful tool for processing grief. This is taking place today from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the main library community room located at 600 East Mariposa Street. It's for adults 18 years or older, and registration is required, and you can do so by scanning the QR code. I'm sorry, I'm going to skip this one. Altadena Revealed has a monthly lecture series. The 9th one in this lecture series is taking place tomorrow from 7 to 9. It's Itinerant Craftsman, Lessons from the Duntley Blackburn Residence. It's at the Altadena Main Library at 600 East Mariposa Street. The doors open at 7, with the lecture going from 7:30 to 8:30, followed by Q&A. There's a LA Fire Relief Distribution providing support for Altadena and Pasadena residents affected by the Eaton fires, including free Joe's Pizza and household and pet supplies. It's taking place tomorrow at 12 p.m. at 2012 Lake Avenue in Altadena. And this is a pop-up, so definitely show up and get some pizza and get some free distribution. There's a supportive wellness series created to nurture healing, resilience, and connection. It's a free 2-part community wellness event. If you're 65 and older and have been affected by the Eaton fires, Heritage Clinic United Mental Health promoters invite you to join us for a 2-part supportive wellness series created to nurture healing, resilience, and connection. So the first gathering is going to take place tomorrow, Friday, January 30th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the second one will be the following Friday, which is February 6th, also from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's at the Deliverance Tabernacle Church, Fellowship Hall, and the entrance is in the back at 1299 Sunset Street in Pasadena. And Hillside Tabernacle City of Faith Church is providing Altadena wildfire recovery. It's a meeting the needs of the community. This is taking place on Friday the 30th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Care, compassion, assistance, reaching everyone. They're here to help. The location is 2561 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. You can scan the QR code to register. And if you have questions, you can reach out to the office at 626-794-6797. There's free health services for Altadena victims. There were 2 weekends. We didn't make the announcement for the first one, but there is one happening this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're providing medical and mental health services, and it's free healthcare services at Sacred Heart Church at 2889 North Lincoln Avenue in Altadena. No insurance is required, and walk-ins are welcome. Dena Hills is also having free yoga guided by Sea Air, this Saturday, the 31st. And this will be at the Paseo Outdoor Mall at 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 151 in Pasadena. The doors open at 9 a.m. with the class beginning at 9:15. To RSVP, please go to bit.ly/D as in Dena, H as in heels, /yoga. And there is a virtual workshop also happening on Saturday, the 31st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Provided by Arkestar and LA County Recovers and the City of LA for a virtual workshop to learn more about how the disaster rebuild effort is being streamlined using innovative new pilot programs like Arkestar. You can register by scanning the QR code. And again, it's Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and it is a Zoom meeting. 100 Voices Altadena Mosaic. It's a clay and storytelling workshop. This is taking place Saturday at 1 p.m. through 4 p.m. at the Armory Center for the Arts, which is located at 145 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena. It's a hands-on art and storytelling workshop for people impacted by the Eaton fires. All clay materials will be provided, but they do ask that you bring a journal and pen or pencil, and there will be drinks and snacks provided. Families are welcome and no experience is necessary. Ashes to Echoes, an immersive exhibit that transforms the oral histories of Eaton fire survivors into a living tapestry of home, resilience, and restoration. It's going to take place at the Pasadena Convention Center, located at 300 East Green Street in Pasadena, over the course of several days from January 31st through the 3rd of February. So on Saturday, the 31st, they'll be open from 1 to 8. On Sunday, it'll be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then both Monday and Tuesday, they'll be open from 2 to 8 p.m. And you can scan the QR code to register. Admission is free and it is open to the public. LA Soil Toxicity Q&A is being presented by Post Fire in partnership with the consortium. Join us February 1st, which is Sunday, for a presentation on the results of the most robust soil contamination studies in post-fire Los Angeles. It's put on by CAP LA, USC, Clean, and LA Fire Health, along with a discussion of remediation methods, best practices, and tangible next steps for residents. You can register at postfire.org and also submit your questions there, or you can register by scanning the QR code on the screen. Again, it's on Sunday and it begins at 12 p.m. and this is virtual. And Sundays at 10 a.m., Stars Wellness Center provides a fire support group. This is at 500 East Villa Street in Pasadena. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Whitney at Whitney V as in Victor at gostars.org. And community conversations, brain fog and decision overload. This is an event put on by extreme weather survivors, and it's happening Wednesday, the 4th of February at 6 p.m. Pacific time. What you can expect is to understand why your brain shuts down during recovery and how to break big tasks into small wins. Learn when to delay major life choices while your decider is offline. Share what tools have worked for you to manage the chaos and learn what's worked for fellow survivors. And then lastly, get answers on how to explain your fog to those who may not understand why you're not back to normal yet. You can join them by going to tr.ee-community-convo, or you can scan the QR code to register for this event. And then lastly, as we had indicated a little earlier, we did have the producer of this event, Brandon Lamar, on to talk about the official premiere of his documentary film, Beneath the Ashes, The Past Reimagined. Again, he's the producer, and it was directed by his good friend, Harag Yadalian. This is taking place this Sunday, February 1st at Agbu Cultural Center, which is located at 2495 East Mountain Street in Pasadena. And as he indicated, it's across the street from Victory Park off of Altadena Drive. The doors are going to open at 4:30 p.m. and the screening will begin at 5. You can go directly to beneaththeashes.com website, or you can scan the QR code that we have right here on the screen to go ahead and register. So it's beneaththeashes.com is the website. And with that, I'm done with the announcements. I'll bring Brian and Toni back in. And as usual, great show, Toni. Brandon, obviously a wealth of information, and in addition to doing so many different things for the community. It was a real pleasure to hear him talk and share all the great stuff he's doing. This time you're muted, Brian. You too.
I'm
Toni.
sorry.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. I was talking on mute. I was going to say, yeah, it was great to hear everything he's doing. Looking forward to several events that he has going on. So I don't have anything further. Man in the middle.
Oh, no comment. Everything was great. I'm just echoing Jamal's and your exact comments.
And
Right,
did you know that they have that thing that you like doing with mentoring kids over there? That
No, I did not.
Yeah, that might be, because I know that's your thing, mentoring, and especially when it comes to technology and the other parts. So I don't know if that is something. I didn't mean to volunteer you, but that you would be interested in, connecting with them with. But I was like, oh,
Yeah, I
that's
have
right.
to follow up. I go to the laboratory whenever Brandon's doing certain things so that I can actually capture video in case he doesn't have anybody, which has been a couple times. So I told him, reach out if you want copies of the video or whatever. So,
Yeah. But I could see you mentoring some of them childrens. No, that's your thing. And you're really, really good at it. That's why I said that to him. Like, oh, because that's really like your get down and you're really good at it. So I did not know that they even had that stuff going on. Thank you, Camille. Camille, I thought you were going to get in touch with me so we could bring you on and you could talk about Altadena. Wait a minute. What is she?
Action.
Thank you. I was trying to think what was the other part of it. Thank you, Brian. Action Altadena. So yeah, maturing, right? All righty. Well, we've an hour and about 15 minutes in, and thank you all for tuning in. I'm just, there's so much in his brain. Like Brian has a lot in his brain that is like, Brian knows so much on all kind of stuff. But then when it comes to this political side, Brandon has that going on, and everything. The advocacy. Yeah, I know you're not the politics person, but he is, and he's in it, and he's doing so much in the community. So I'm super thankful he came on today because, I'm pretty impressed with today's conversation with him.
Well, we have some guests on Instagram today. A special shout out to Tamara Tolkien. Action Altadena. Of course, Camille will jump on from Action Altadena. She'll come over here on YouTube.
Toni, she said she will. She's drowning. She promises this week.
No problem.
I'm sure she got a ton of stuff going on at the same time.
Go on, B.
I'm done.
Oh, you were saying something, and then he talked about Camille, or he read the comments, so.
That's all good.
Oh gosh, look, I really messed up on that. I put, thank you so much, Brandon Lamar, for coming. I put the E instead of COMING on the Altadena Talks podcast and sharing so much goodness on the Toni Talk segment. I did that myself. That's hilarious. I was trying to talk and type and everything at the same time. That's hilarious. Anywho, see you all later.
No comment.
I'm surprised. I know you saw it. I'm surprised you didn't post it up or call it out already. The cheerleader about the Dena. All right, see you all. We'll say toodaloo.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.